And we are live. Wait a few minutes. We're building an audience. Just want to show you guys a couple things we're going to talk about here. This hat. And this right here. In case you can't read it, that's Spuds. Also throwing it out there. Enrique, top of the morning, mate. Glad you're on. Morning, Enrique. We got 4 people. I'm not seeing too many on there. I'm glad to have you with us, Enrique. If you haven't followed Enrique, he's got a reality show that I share on Facebook. He's a pretty interesting guy, always full of energy. So check him out. But so Kat's on there. We got 3 people on. Yes, sir, Enrique. And if you haven't been following, this is the 3rd, I guess, edition of the Find Your Playlist. This is chapter 3 of my upcoming book, Find Your Playlist. Mrs. Martinez on. That's awesome. Gino, what's going down? So this is chapter 3 of the book. And if you're just joining and you haven't joined before, for this week and next week and probably into a 3rd week, I'll be talking about, a little bit about each chapter of the book and kind of what it means. Obviously in hopes that you buy it, but in hopes that you can kind of relate to it. So chapter 3, if you read the hashtag, is Lord Give Me a Sign. That was obviously a DMX song that kind of rang true to me, because at that point, chapter 1 was really, I don't want to be, I knew there was a place I didn't want to be at anymore. I was sick and tired of being there. I was sick and tired of failing. I was sick and tired of just so much. And chapter 2 is Rhyme and Reason, and that was being in a dark place, having, dark thoughts, not necessarily really, the long and short of it, just not wanting to be here. And on the outside, sure, everything looks great, but when you're not feeling good inside, you can put on all the signs and the faces on the outside and let people think that everything's all right, and it's not. And chapter 3, and again, as I was in this reflective state, it was about a 2-month period, a little over 2 months, probably more than 2 months, that I was just kind of reflecting on life, everything I had done wrong, why I couldn't change. And as I was listening to the songs in my playlist, I completed or comprised this playlist. And this song, DMX, was at a time, and I was looking for a sign. I was looking for a reason to want to keep going. I was looking for a reason. I was looking for that sign that things would be all right, that I could change. Because everything else pointed to the fact that I couldn't change. That my thoughts couldn't change, that I couldn't change, that this was just who I was. It was just how things were going to be for me, and it's not how I wanted things to be. And in his song, he says, Lord, give me a sign. I really need to talk to you, Lord. Since the last time we talked, the walk has been hard, and the walk was very hard for me. It was extremely hard, but I made it hard. And nobody else made it hard for me. I made it hard. And I think we all have those. We are our own worst enemy, and we can a lot of times get in our own way, and that's what I was doing. I was getting in my own way. And every time I had gotten into trouble, it was back to church. I would go back to church and try and find an answer or a reason, or ask God to help me out. When really all the answers lie within each and every one of us. We look outside for the answers, but the answers are always inside. And for me, and maybe it is for you, I just, whenever things were tough, that's what I would do. I would go to find, go back to church and try and find my way, if you will. And in another verse, he says, I'm a big boy now, but I'm still not grown. So, I was, a big boy. I had my, big boy job. I was, making big boy money, and everything should be fine, and it wasn't, because things weren't right inside me. So it was in that time of reflection that I was, looking for an answer. I was looking for something to just fall from the sky. We're all looking for that answer. We all want to know how things are going to work out. We don't know how things are. Good morning, Christine. Morning, Tony. Steve, thanks everyone for joining. And we don't know how things are going to work out. We don't have those answers. We don't have, and I didn't have the how. Inside my head, I mean, it was a nightmare. And unfortunately, my sign came to me when about 2 months after I had my kind of rock bottom moment. We lost, my circle of friends. We lost a longtime friend of ours who took his own life. And this is my shout out to the Spuds campaign. This is my shout out to Jay Sprada, because it was that event that was my sign. That was my sign that I had to do something, that I had to change in me, or I was going to be in that spot. It was an all too real feeling that I was way too close to doing things that I didn't want to do, and that for me was my sign. But if I wasn't looking for a sign, I never would have found it. And so chapter 3 in the book talks about that. It talks about, the other sign I had was my family telling me that, all the good things that I had done, all the successes and accomplishments. But when you're in that state of mind, when you're down and you're out, you really can't, it's hard to see that. It's hard to see everything that's positive when inside your mind, everything is negative. Everything. And for me, that's what music did. That's what this book does for me. Music allowed me to find out who I was. The music and the songs that I would play when I was in those reflective states, again, it was just like they were speaking directly to me. And that's what music can do for us a lot of times. It feels like the songs were written for us. You might be listening to a song and you're thinking, man, that's me right now. And that is what this does. That's what music did for me. That's what the book is about. So chapter 3 is about how I found that sign. And unfortunately, that sign for me was losing a friend, a longtime friend. He wasn't a best friend of mine, but he was someone who I had spent a good amount of years partying with. And we were in a lot of the same circles. We did a lot of the same things. And we had a lot of the same demons and darknesses. And that just hit home for me for some reason or another. And that was my sign that I said, you know what? I know what I need to do. I know what I want to do. Now I need to start doing it. So maybe you have something that you're looking for that sign for. And you know what? You don't know where that sign's going to come from. I didn't know. Trust me, none of us knew that this was coming, that sign. But it was from that I got involved in the Spuds campaign and suicide prevention and mental health awareness and trying to raise the awareness on something that most people think. And for me, I just thought, I couldn't be weak, so I couldn't let anyone know that I was feeling this certain way or another. So for me, this song in chapter 3, Lord, give me a sign, like that was my sign. You've got to do something about it. You know how this person is feeling. You've had these thoughts, and maybe, just maybe, the message that I say, that I'm bringing to the table right now, the message that I bring in the book, maybe that does help somebody out. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But I knew one thing, that I needed to do something. I needed to do something positive for myself, but for other people. And maybe my story will help somebody out. Maybe somebody's life, is saved because of me. That's my hope. But again, I'm starting to get off topic because that's what I do. I ramble a lot, but that's what chapter 3 was. Chapter 3 was about finding that sign, and that sign was not only in speaking to my family, but it was also an unfortunate event that led me to take this path of enlightenment, to really work on getting my mind right, changing my mindset from negative, from dark to light, and how I was going to do that. And how I did that was through music. I'm not sure how you're going to do it. But I do know one thing, that music affects all of us, that we all have our own love for music, and that's what this book is about. Finding your playlist, finding your purpose, finding out why you are the way you are, and finding out what it is you're meant to do, and being happy with who you are. Thanks, Tom. I'm not driving today. I figured I'd be at home. I got my Mets jersey on. Chapter 3 I knew was the sign, and what kind of got me involved in this whole change and wanting to make a difference in people's lives. And Jay and I had a dear love for the New York Mets, and I wanted to shed some light on the Spuds campaign and suicide prevention, suicide awareness, depression, mental health, all of those sort of things that get a negative stereotype, and that negative stereotype is what kept me from even bringing up the fact that maybe from bringing up the fact that I was depressed, or that I wasn't feeling good about myself. And so how can you relate this to you? Maybe you're going through a time. Maybe you have something that you want to do that you're just not positive, and you're waiting for that sign. You don't know where that sign's going to come from. I had asked for a sign, and I felt this was it. It was the second friend of mine that I lost to suicide, and I thought, what, these are things and thoughts that I have, so I need to do something about it. And this was the sign that I needed to start taking action, because as you'll find out as we go through the book, thoughts alone, intentions are great, but intentions without actions are worthless. So guys, I hope that you got something out of chapter 3. Hopefully, if you are looking for that sign, that maybe that sign comes to you. And I hope that you guys have a great Wednesday. If you're here in Buffalo, it's supposed to be a pretty nice day. That's really all I got for you guys, and I will see you guys on Thursday. I'm out.